Hello and welcome to the first edition of the ABBA League magazine in the new calendar year. We'll speak about the 16th round in which Metalac was trying to make amends for their biggest defeat of the season against Krka in what was their fourth successive home game. In one of the derbies of the round, Partizan hosted Cedevita in Belgrade, while Crvena Zvezda was facing a tough away game to Olimpia just 48 hours after losing to Real Madrid in the EuroLeague, while Cibona was facing the young and dangerous Megalex in the Dražen Petrović Hall in Zagreb. At the end of the show, we will of course show you the best 5 actions of the round. Start with the news. Marko Tomas has extended his contract with Cedevita till the end of the season, despite only featuring in only one game this turn. The deal indicates Tomas has recovered after the injury and will be returning to the action shortly. And Dejan Musli is now a new Megalex player. The 23-year-old former Partizan center now arrives back to Serbia as a loaned player from Laboral Kucha. And last but not least, MZT lost their third coach already this season as Boban Mito stepped down after the defeat from Budućnost. He managed to win 3 times in the 10 games he was in charge of the Macedonian champion. We start in Valjevo. It was the 4th successive home game for Metalac, and this time their visitors were the team who had inflicted them the biggest defeat of the season. That was Krka, of course, and the outfit from Novo Mesto had lost 9 of the last 10 games, including the 2 leading into this match, while on the other hand the home team was on a high after 2 successive wins. After a couple of opening exchanges of Castrati and Kutlesic, it was Krka with a first lead of 8-4. Game, Erion Castrati was successful, but that didn't take long before Nikola Malešević had secured a 3-point lead for the home team when he made it 12-9 with a 3. The same player scored to put Metalac in front by 7 points for the first time when it was 20-13. The first quarter ended with Krka behind by 5 when Malcolm Armstead made it 23-18. Jasmin Hukic scored all of his 9 points in the second quarter, in which Krka played well and took the lead of 28-25 after scoring 10 unanswered points. But the home team managed to arrest the fall in time and return into the lead after Majstorovic's dunk. When Marko Ljubicic scored 3 of his 10 altogether, Metalac was in front by 34-30 and then 40-37 after the first 20 minutes of play. The home team was ahead by 4 points when Nikola Jevtovic scored. But then the guests were able to put together a good spell, after which they took the lead for the first time in the second half through Alexis Vangmene. Krka was in front by 5 by the time Mulalic scored his 3rd 3-pointer, and visitors were also in front by 4 come the end of the 3rd period. The Slovenian champion had then opened the last period the way they had closed the 3rd and were already 9 points to the good when Mulalic again was precise from distance. Krka was left to play the remainder of the match without the injured Chris Booker, but was still in the lead until less than 2 minutes before the end of the game. Metalac had caught up with them when Nikola Jevtovic scored. Same player then put the home team in 4-point lead, but the game wasn't over yet, as in the next offense Alexis Vangmene managed to score and draw a foul as well, after which Krka was only trailing the hosts by a single point. This is the action from the Cameroonian. At the other end, Nikola Malešević only managed to score once from the free throw line, as the margin between the teams was only 2 points, but Armstead then missed the opportunity to push the game into overtime, and Metalac was able to celebrate their 3rd win on the trot, which of course keeps them in good stead as the season progresses. The champions of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Hungary met in Laktashi, with the visitors having a win more to their name, with 7 altogether this season. Akos Killer was the one breaking the ice. And for the home team at the other end, it was Petar Torlak. Solnok was in front by 11-9 when the veteran Marton Bader scored, but that was followed by a good response from Igokea as they scored the last 8 points of the first quarter, 5 of which were contributed by George Drenovac, who also set the result after the first 10 minutes of 16-11 with a 3. The next 5 points for Solnok was scored by Strahinja Milosevic as he put them just a point behind. But soon after that, the home team was back into a 6-point lead when Dusan Katnic managed to score. When Nikola Dragovic scored his second 3-pointer, Igokea was in front by 7 points, after which Dragan Aleksic was forced to take a timeout. Then Lazaric Jones made it 29-24, but the home team would finish the half in front by 7 points. It was 31-24 after the first 20 minutes. The home team was still 7 points to the good when Branko Jorovic opened the third period with a 3, but then the next 4 points were scored by Lazaric Jones, and after that David Vojvoda dunked nicely to put Solnok just 2 points behind the hosts. David Vojvoda was also the best scorer for Solnok. Igokea replied well, and after Jonathan Jones scored for 3, they had opened their highest advantage of 9 points. But then the Hungarians put together a 12-0 run, after which they had taken the lead of 52-49 when Christian Wittmann scored from distance in the last second of the third quarter. That got extended at the beginning of the last period when Strahinja Milosevic put the visitors 5 points in front. After that, Solnok combined nicely in an alley-oop, finished off by Akos Killer, after which they had rounded up a 21-5 partial and opened a 7-point lead. Then Jorovic scored and drew a foul as well, and Igokea closed the gap back to 2 points. But that didn't last long, as soon Vojvoda scored another 3 and made it 67-62. That was less than 2 minutes before the end of the game, when the feat was repeated by Lazaric Jones just 41 seconds before time, and the game was finally decided by these points. It was Solnok's second away win of the season, something the Hungarian champion managed to do for the first time since joining the league 3 years ago. "7,000 people turned up for the duel between the 5th and the 3rd place teams of Partizan and Cedevita respectively, which the latter winning 4 games on the trot before arriving in Belgrade, and the former with 2 consecutive wins prior to this encounter in the Pioneer Hall. Black and White would state their intent from the word go as they opened the match with 12 unanswered points, a run subsequently concluded by George Gagic from the free throw line. Cedevita needed more than 7 minutes to get going in this game, and their first points from open play came in the last minute of the first period when a former Partizan player, Nemanja Gordic, was successful. The result of 16-7 after the first 10 minutes was set by Roko Leni Ukic. He only contributed 3 points in this match, with only 1 made shot from as many as 12 attempts. Then a reaction from the visitors at the start of the second period, in which they recorded an 11-3 partial, after which the gap was close to 5 points. But soon Partizan was back to a double-digit lead when the Frenchman Boris Dalot made it 26-14. Then Miro Bilan scored 6 in a row to cut the deficit to 8 points. But soon after that, Partizan was nurturing a 13-point lead as they scored 3 times for free, with Sasha Pavlovic contributing 2 of those. Nikola Milutinov then set the result of 39-24 after the first 20 minutes. When Luka Bogdanovic scored his first shot from distance, the home team was in front by 18 points for the first time in the game. Cedevita's reply was to score the next 8, and when Miro Bilan scored, they were trailing the hosts by 10 points. Didn't last long though, as Partizan was soon back to an 18-point lead when Andrija Milutinovic made it 60-42. Bilan was the last player to score in the third period, which ended with Partizan in front by 60-44. At the start of the last quarter, Mihailo Andrić scored his 4th three-pointer from only 6 attempts, and the lead was 63-48. After that, Nemanja Gordic had a good spell, after which Cedevita was behind by 11 points. But again, the home team provided the answer, with Dalot scoring twice and putting Partizan back to a 16-point advantage. The game was decided when Dragan Milosavljevic, the home captain, scored for free less than 3 minutes before time, when he made it 74-57. Luka Babic at least made sure the loss would be less than Partizan's in Zagreb, as he scored twice for free. And the game finished with 76-64, with Partizan scoring 10 times for free, Cedevita just 4 times. Union Olimpija suffered 3 straight defeats before locking horns with the undisputed best team of the league, Crvena Zvezda, who nevertheless had a tough game on Friday against Real Madrid in the EuroLeague. The 2 tallest men of the game were the first to score at both ends, Marjanovic for Crvena Zvezda and Alen Omic for Union Olimpija. Then Klemen Prepelic announced a good shooting evening from the hosts by scoring twice from distance to make it 8-6. He soon followed up on that by scoring another 2, as he contributed 12 points to initial 14 from the hosts, who after that took the lead of 14-9. Nikola Kalinic set the result of 22-19 after the first 10 minutes. Soon in the second quarter, Paolo Marinelli scored 5 in a row to put Olimpija 8 points to the good. But that was followed by a series of mistakes from the home team, after which Crvena Zvezda was quick to close the gap to just a point through the German Mike Zirbes. Zvezda then took advantage of Olimpija's 10th turnover already and took the lead of 34-29 after a 15-2 partial. That said, the home team did finish the half on a high, and after Nicolo successfully shot twice from distance, they were in the lead again of 44-42. The teams were only separated by a single point come the end of the first half, with Nikola Kalinic the last player to score in it. When Dino Muric scored 5 in a row after the interval, Olimpija was in front by 59-52, and Dejan Radonic was of course forced to take an early timeout. The hosts were still in front by 7 points when Paolo Marinelli found his way to the basket again. But Crvena Zvezda closed the gap back to 2 points when Jaka Blažić set the result after 30 minutes of play. It was 69-67. Blažić was also the first one to score in the last period to equal the score to 69. And soon after that, Crvena Zvezda took the lead for the first time in the second half, when Boban Marjanovic made it 72-71. The visitors had a good momentum towards the end of the match, and after Williams' points, they were in front by 5. But this game was tied all the way through, and by the time Marinovic replied with 5 successive points, the teams were equal again to 80. Some luck then for Nikola Kalinic, as he managed to put Crvena Zvezda 4 points in front just 54 seconds before the end. The game was decided 35 seconds from time, as Alen Omic couldn't score from a good situation. In the end, Crvena Zvezda won it by 10 points, as Blažić scored for free right at the buzzer, and this of course meant the red and white had secured a new record of the league with 16 straight victories. The Macedonian champion had lost 3 out of 4 last games before taking on one of the best teams of the league, Budućnost from Podgorica, who had also lost twice in the last 4 games, allowing their second place to be pressured by Cedevita. Darko Planinic was the first player to score in the visitors' ranks, while MZT needed more than 4 minutes to get going when Aleksandar Cvetkovic finally broke the deadlock. Budućnost was in front by 8 points when Ivan Paunic scored for free, and MZT's coach Boban Mitev was forced to take an early timeout. The result of 18-9 after the first quarter was set by Jair Reynolds. He ended the game on 15 points and 5 assists. Darko Planinic was the game's best scorer with 20 points to his name in the end, and when he scored twice at the beginning of the second period, Budućnost had a lead of 22-9. MZT responded through Uroš Lucic, who was one of the few players going well in this game, and he managed to close the gap to 11 points, but soon after that Budućnost opened up a new highest advantage of 15, courtesy of Nikola Ivanovic. After Ivan Paunic scored again, Budućnost was already in front by 17 points, and then the visitors were nurturing a 19-point lead come the end of the first half, which ended with 46-27. The Montenegrins were relentless, and by the time Suat Šehović managed to get himself on the score sheet, they were in front by 21 points. Ivan Paunic was playing well, as he was able to get a record tally of 13 points in the end, and after his basket, Budućnost was already 23 points to the good. A sort of response for them from the home team, as they managed to close the gap to 15 after scoring twice from distance and round up a 10-2 partial. And the home captain then set the result after 30 minutes of play. It was 65-49. In the last period, the younger of the Šehović brothers, Sead of MZT, closed the gap to 14 points. But having said that, his older brother had no mercy at the other end, as he put Budućnost 20 points in front again in the 37th minute, after which the game was of course well and truly over. It finished with 81-59 when Owen Klassen managed to score his first and only points of the game. And with the second successive win, Budućnost now keeps the second place, while MZT lost their 4th game of the last 5. Cibona hosted Megalex in the Dražen Petrović Center without the recently departed Damir Markota, while the visitors were forced to play without their best player Nikola Jokic, while of course Aleksandar Marelja also left the club prior to this match. The visitors scored the first points in this game through Dejan Musli, and it was the other top player who was the first one to score for Cibona. It was of course Jure Lalic. The home team was in front by 5 points when their captain Marin Rosic was able to score 5 in a row, after which Dejan Milojevic was forced to take a first time out of the game. It proved to be worthwhile, as Dusan Čatinkin scored 4 times in a row and put Megalex into the lead of 18-16. But the home team managed to close the first quarter with 8 consecutive points as Dominic Maura set the result after the first 10 minutes when it was 26-22. Cibona was soon in front by 30-22 when the young Ante Žižić scored twice at the beginning of the second period, after which the home team rounded up a 15-0 partial through Dominic Maura again and his second three-pointer. Nenad Miljenovic was then mainly responsible. Cibona wouldn't get too far away, and after his points, Megalix was only trailing Cibona by 4. But again, Dominic Maura scored twice from distance, after which the home team's lead was in the double digits again. Dejan Musli was able to record his personal best of 26 points in this game, and after he contributed 5 in a row, the visitors had managed to close the gap back to 5. That said, Marin Rosic scored for 3 in the last second of the first half and gave Cibona an 8-point advantage before the second 20 minutes. Soon after the interval, Nenad Miljenovic made sure the visitors would cut the deficit to just 3 points. But almost immediately after that, Cibona with another good run, after which they escaped to 60-49. When Vlado Ilievski then scored twice, Cibona nurtured a new highest lead of 13 points. And the gap was 14 after 30 minutes of play, when it was 73-59. Again, Miljenovic was the main force in Megalix's coming back in it, as he made it 78-71. And when the visitors were in the middle of a threatening offensive in which they had closed the gap to just 4 points, Marko Jagodic Kuriđa managed to score an all-important basket which had put Cibona 80-74 in front. The game was finally decided by Vlado Ilievski, who scored both times from the free throw line, to make it 82-76, and the game ended with 84-80 to Cibona. So, a close but important win for Metalac over Krka. Solnok managed to win for the second time away from home this season, which is a first since they joined the league 3 years ago. Partizan got their revenge against Cedevita, and Crvena Zvezda gets that record-breaking win over Union Olimpija. No problems for Budućnost in Skopje, while the game between Levski and Zadar is postponed. Let's take a look at the table. No change in the first 3 places, while Partizan now occupies the 4th place, where they replace the falling Olimpija, who's now 6th, with Cibona overtaking the Slovenians as well. 7 wins now for Mega, Solnok, Metalac and Zadar, but the Dalmatians do have a game less. Levski still remains rooted to the bottom. Nenad Miljenovic is our most valuable player of the 16th round. He managed to reach a playing index of 33 and was only missing a single rebound to reach a triple-double. He got there by scoring 16 points, adding 9 rebounds and as many as 11 assists in the 32 minutes he played in the defeat against Cibona. And now let's take a look at our choice of 5 best actions of the 16th round. We start at number 5. This is the counter-attack from Metalac, and of course, Đorđe Majstorović with a dunk. Number 4, we have Christian Wittmann with this 3, which was of course beating the buzzer, and the game which Solnok won in the end, of course. At number 3, we go back to the dunking, with the tallest player of this game, Dusan Cantekin, was dunking nicely after the rebound. At number 2 we have another tall player. This time it's Mike Tsirbes making good use of an assist of Stefan Jovic. And this time we have an alley-oop at number 1. It's between Lazarick Jones and Akos Keller, who finished it off nicely, and this is our best action of the 16th round. As always, we finish off with a look ahead. The 17th round starts on Friday with a match between Solnok and MZT. 3 games then on Saturday, with a highlight in Belgrade at 9 p.m. when Partizan hosts Olympia. 2 more games then on Sunday, while the round closes on Monday in a all-Croatian derby between Zadar and Cibona. And this is all for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.